Hello and welcome back to the Beyond Enough podcast. I am so excited to be here with you all back in the recording studio. I am your host, Amy, and I am so grateful that you are here. And today I really want to talk about why your visibility isn't working, what that little missing piece is for you. And I talk a lot about how we focus so much on the what of visibility. The what, the strategy, what steps do I have to take in order to grow my business, in order to collaborate, in order to bring opportunities my way. But visibility is so much deeper than that. And from my experience, women who are struggling with visibility in their business are also struggling with visibility and voice and presence in other areas of their life. And for you, this might look like struggling to set a boundary. It might be struggling to set that in a relationship and say, this is something I'm really struggling with, or this is something that I need from you, or you really hurt me when you said X, Y, Z. Visibility isn't just about showing up and creating a reel or a post or a video. Visibility is that connecting piece between who we are, what we're doing. It is the action piece. It is that doing part of your business and your life. It's that part that connects you to other people. And the reason this is important is because we need other people. We need other people. And for women, I think especially being able to create deep friendships, spaces where you can be vulnerable, where you can truly connect with other women like you on the same journey, on the same path, is so important, not just to how you feel, but also for helping you step up into that next level, opening up your perspective to what is possible for you, for creating that divine support and sisterhood that really allows you to flourish as a woman. And that is all held in your ability to be visible. And I think there are so many preconceptions about visibility. And I do think in part that's because there is so much out there about get more visible, get more reach, get more sales. It's, boom, 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 boom. Just do this. Just use a trending audio. And actually, I think that really trips a lot of you up. I think it trips a lot of you up because there is so much shoved down our throats, not just in the coaching industry or online, but it really takes away your power and it really heightens all of the fears and wounds that have been present probably from a very early age in your life. And I know this is certainly true for me. It really makes us feel like, well, if I'm not showing up online like this, then I'm failing. Or if I'm not picture perfect when I do a video or take a picture, then no one will like it. No one will like me. And actually, it's a bit embarrassing. And I'm worried that people will reject me or judge me. And this is such a throwback, I think, to how women have been treated and how they are still treated. And I see some beautiful shifts in this, and certainly in the communities that I am very active in my own community as well. There's a real shift away from that, what I like to call vanity metrics, and into, okay, what feels really good for me? What's authentic to me? What do I like? Who am I at my core? And how do I use that to move forward, to build my own community, to build my business, to find spaces and places where I feel supported and where I feel like, actually, this feels really good to me. And this is especially important for women because I think we really struggle to say, okay, I'm really good at this, I'm really good at that, I know what I'm talking about, and to really allow themselves to step into leadership or step up into their expertise and then be able to have that with conviction and presence and put it across in the online space or in a conversation, whether it's DMs or a networking event. And suddenly this fear comes over you right from the tip of your toes. Your body starts to physically react, right? This is your nervous system. It's at such a base root level. You can feel it literally rumble up, that heat perhaps, and your whole body goes into panic mode. And suddenly it's just so much easier to shut down, to retreat, to fold. And that's a really difficult thing to overcome. And I would like to say here as well, it's so understandable. I had a beautiful conversation with a client recently about visibility fears and wounds and what visibility meant to her. And after our beautiful conversation, I said to her, no wonder you're afraid. Your relationship with visibility has been that you're ignored, that people don't value your word, they ignore you, or they don't take your advice, or you have been judged for the way you look. And excuse me. And for a lot of women, these judgments have come thick and fast their entire life. There is a lot of judgment around the way that women look. That's a very real fear. It's not irrational. We do live in a world that is very vanity focused. And so these fears are really deep rooted. And I just want to validate your fears here and say it's totally understandable that you are afraid of putting your true self out there. It has never felt safe, perhaps, for you to do that in any space in your life. And so for some of you, it may even be that you struggle to talk up in meetings. It may be that in the past you've given advice or you've shared your expertise and that's been thrown back in your face. It may be that actually when you've really stood up for yourself and you've really shone your light, you've been shamed for that. You've been made to feel like you are too much. And so, yes, of course, it is absolutely terrifying to put yourself out there. And what happens? We shrink. We try and mold ourselves into the strategies we've been given. We consume everyone else's content all of the time. What happens is that our voice gets lost in the noise. And then suddenly we can't find it anymore. Or perhaps you feel like, actually, don't know what my voice sounds like yet. I don't feel like I've ever fully expressed myself. I don't feel like I do have those spaces and places and people around me who are willing to listen. And I see that a lot as well. Not only does it feel unsafe to go out into the world, whether that's on social media or otherwise, and speak your truth and use your voice and be who you are, perhaps you've spent a lifetime actually never having spaces where that has felt safe. And what happens then is that people find it really difficult to connect with us. Part of being a business owner, a coach, an entrepreneur, however you identify, is being able to share your expertise and being able to connect people to your message, to your business, to your service, and to be able to convey the value in that so that people can feel us, connect to us, and understand and feel what we are saying. And that's our job. But that is really, really difficult if you are struggling with visibility. It's also really common, I think, at this point to then feel like you're failing. Because you know you're an expert. You're so excellent at what you do. You're so highly qualified. And I know this because I am the same. I've got qualifications coming out of my ears. And I see this all the time with women. We're so highly qualified. We do more training, more training, more training. But more training, another course, another book is not going to help us feel confident with visibility. Because like I said at the start, this is the action part. This is the doing part. This is the part that actually you need to walk through in order to get better at it. You cannot mindset your way into feeling empowered and feeling expansive with your presence and your voice and your conviction if you're not doing the thing. And this is why I love coaching around visibility, because it really involves you, yes, understanding these wounds, yes, understanding the pain and the fear behind it. But this is the part where we start to walk you forward. We start to help you feel safe with visibility, help you understand how visibility can look completely different and feel completely different, and start to become something in your life that is not only empowering, but sees you getting the results you deserve, because the value that people place on you is reflective of the value you put on yourself. And if you do not have that underlying worth, conviction, strength, value, it's never fully being portrayed in your presence, in your visibility. When we are speaking publicly or doing any form of visibility, our self, our sense of self, our mind, our body, the whole of you has been stuck in patterns. It's been stuck in patterns that you've built probably from a very, very young age. And our nervous system works on patterns, right? Like it works on triggers and it works on what's gone before. Those snapshots of all those times where you felt really embarrassed about saying the wrong answer in the classroom, or someone made fun of your hair, whatever that may be, built up over time evidence. And that evidence has been fed right through your whole entire system, your nervous system, your mind. Your expression is then impacted by it, how you hold yourself, your spine, right? Like the extension in your spine. You're somatically behaving in a way that you've been taught is safe through the experiences that you've had throughout your life. And this is why, again, it's really important that we start to really open up what you believe is possible and start to teach not just your mind, but your body that it is safe to be expansive, that it is safe to be seen, that it's safe to speak with conviction, with strength, with power. And that actually that is the key to you moving forward, to welcoming in people who are aligned, to welcoming in community, clients, sales, whatever it is that you are currently manifesting. There must be this part that is inspired action, that feels, yes, at times really scary and unknown, but is you moving forward instead of staying stuck in these old patterns and wounds that are not serving you. They are just repeating the patterns of the past. That self-censorship has you ring-fenced. And so if we want to move through that, I really do encourage you to give yourself a couple of challenges that challenge you. And this might be just simply sitting in front of your camera for 30 seconds a day for the next week. And instead of trying to talk about your business or a sales pitch or your area of expertise, an educational piece, I really encourage you to talk on a couple of different topics, perhaps a couple of topics that you really feel passionately about, and then a couple of topics that stretch you a little bit. So your business or your area of expertise. And then go back and compare the videos. Now, I know this is a stretchy exercise. However, the caveat to this is that you do it with your own learning forefront of mind and let go of that judgment of, I'm not very good. I hate how my hair looks. Oh. And actually instead get a little bit curious. Where am I shrinking? Where am I being very restrictive? Where am I stuttering over my words? And then comparing it with a topic that you find really easy to talk about and get curious about that. And when I ask my clients to do this exercise, what I find is, or what they find is, on topics that they feel very comfortable talking about, they don't ask, they have their shoulders up and back, and they are talking with such clarity, such conviction. There is no resistance whatsoever. And as soon as they start trying to talk about themselves or their business or their hopes or dreams, they suddenly become so much more contracted. They stumble. And the reason I'm saying this is such a good exercise to try is because I really want you to see that shift in your energy, in your presence. And I want you to get curious as to why that is. Why is it that you feel this huge emotional attachment when you're speaking about your expertise or your journey, and yet you can talk about something else with such ease? And I want you to get curious about that. I want you to get really curious about what have you attached to speaking about your business, to speaking about yourself, to speaking about your story. What is the piece underlying that makes you feel a certain way about visibility? And as you do, hold yourself in so much love. This is a process. It is a journey. It is not something that happens overnight. This is us creating a little bit of space in what you think you know about visibility and starting to become expansive over your visibility journey. If you like tapping some EFT, you can then tap on those thoughts, feelings, what's happening in your body. Notice them. Get curious about them. What's giving you a knot in your stomach to talk about? And what is the underlying fear around it? There are so many different ways to be visible, but it starts with you being able to really deeply connect to your visibility roots. Who am I? What's important to me? And how do I start to really unfold that out into the world and start to shift the focus from what am I doing for visibility and into how? How am I going to do my visibility going forward? Because there are hundreds of ways to make your visibility successful in terms of strategy. Some people love to build on YouTube. Some people love a podcast. Some people love Instagram, TikTok, email marketing, whatever. There are so many different ways in which you can be visible. But it is not the what, it is the how. And that starts with you being able to bring strength and presence in whichever space you choose to be visible in. And that starts with you, and it starts with small exposures and allowing yourself to welcome in a different view of visibility and creating that space for your own learning. I would love to hear from you if you try this exercise. You know, you can find me at Amelie Coaching on Instagram. I will link it in the show notes. But I really, truly hope that this episode has helped you think about visibility differently. If you are on this journey to expanding your visibility, your presence, your voice, I'm doing a 12-day Telegram experience called the Presence Edit. This is not about editing who you are, and instead editing your presence to make it more you, to make sure there is less of this disconnect between the you behind the scenes and the you on social media or in any other form that you choose to be visible. This is about you really, truly leaning into who you are and starting to understand that that is the missing piece in your visibility. If you want more details, I will link that below, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next episode.